morning, everyone. How was your vacation? I hope you're all great right now. Now we're going to discuss the functions of communication. But before we start, I just want to remind you our regular meeting. Our regular Zoom meeting. Oh wait, Rizalin is entering the room. Hi, Rizalin. Where is she? Okay, she's joining right now. Hi, Rizalin. Rizalin, kindly unmute your microphone.
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly open your cam. Para naman makita kita personal. Virtual. Hi! You're from?
Poblacion Bani, Pangasinan, ma'am.
From Bani. I am in Anda. Okay, so we have one-on-one again. One-on-one discussion. Ha?
Anong subject po?
This is oral communication. You can jot down notes or you can screenshot, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will discuss today functions of communication. And we're still waiting for the others to join. Okay, functions of communication. These are the expectations. After going through this module, you can explain the functions, the nature and process of communication. Second one examines sample oral communication activities. Are you finished with this activity, Rizalin? The activity explore? Not yet.
Anong explore po, ma'am? Anong week po?
Week 8. Kasi yung topic natin ito, week 8 to
Wait
week
lang.
9.
Wait lang po, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here, pinagawa ko, choose one scenario below and write a short conversation on how you act in your chosen situation. Number 1, you received an invitation from your childhood friend who will celebrate her 18th birthday this coming week. How will you communicate with each other? And second scenario is you saw your younger sister crying at a corner of your house. You asked her why. She told you about her feelings for in her exam and worries on how she will tell your parents. What will be your conversation? In this activity, which one did you choose?
Yung kwan, ma'am. Yung number 2 po.
Number 2. So, titingnan ko na lang, hindi na kita tatanungin about that. O para importante na makapag-complete kayo agad in every activity para hindi kayo mabigla, para hindi kayo maipunan. So, what is communication? Aside from what is written here, what is communication for you? Based on your understanding or based on what you've learned for the past weeks, what is communication, Rizalin?
Communication is the conveying of message by exchanging thought or information via speech, visual signals, writing, or behavior.
Good. That is based on what is written here. We also discussed the models of communication. Do you still remember, Rizalyn?
Yung sa ano po, ma'am?
Models
Yung
of communication. Mga, di ba tatlo yung models na yun? Naalala mo? The
wait lang, ma'am.
linear, the
Linear,
interactive, and transactional, right? So
yes,
which
ma'am.
model is stated that it is a two-way process? Alin doon? This is just a review or recap sa mga napag-aralan natin last week.
Yung ano po yun, ma'am?
Alin sa mga model itong two-way process of communication? There is a feedback. Alin doon sa tatlong model na yon? Is it linear, interactive, or transactional?
Linear po ata, ma'am. Hindi ko po kasi sure, ma'am.
Okay, the answer is interactive because in linear, it is just a one way of conveying ideas and information. One way. Halimbawa, television. Pag nanonood ka ng TV, one way lang yon. Hindi ka pwedeng makapag-feedback, right? Pero kapag two-way process, ito yung interactive model. Wherein, there is always a feedback. Like, ginagawa natin. We are having a conversation. Me as sender and you as a receiver, then you can also convey your own ideas. So therefore, it is a two-way process of communication. It is under the interactive model. However, language researchers observed that though nearly 70% of individuals engage their waking hours in communication, it is still indicated that poor communication is the major source of interpersonal conflict. Totoo nga naman, di ba? There is always a poor communication or misinterpretation or mga different conflicts. Bakit kaya nagkakaroon ng mga to? Sa tingin mo, bakit merong mga poor communication?
Hindi po sila nagkakaintindihan kasi
Okay, very
malabo
good.
po yung
Yun na yun mismo. Misinterpretation. Maaring yung mga different noises kasi 'di ba in communication meron tayong 7 major elements, yung mga parts na bumubuo sa system of communication, tama? Halimbawa, yung
yes, ma'am.
sender, receiver, ano pa? 7 yun lahat.
Writer.
Ha? Sender,
Writer.
receiver, yung yung i-deliver ko, what is this? Anong part 'yon? Anong part ng communication process? Yung context. Yung context, yun yung exact words na binibigay ko sa'yo. Then next is message. When we say message, ito yung gusto kong ma-receive mo. Ito yung mensahe ko mismo. This is the meaning of the context or the exact word. Pang-apat yon. Next is channel. Naalala mo na?
Yes, ma'am.
Pag sinabi naman nating channel, ito yung instrument or medium na ginagamit natin. Pwedeng, ito, verbal kung sinasabi sa'yo. Or, pwede rin naman na through written, sulat, sign language, gestures. Yun yung mga channel. Next is noise. Ito yung problema kadalasan. Meron tayong psychological noise, physical noise, semantic noise. Maraming iba't ibang klase ng noise na nagiging barriers para magkaroon tayo ng successful communication. And last part of communication process is the feedback. Ito na yung sagot mo. Once na tinanong kita and you answered, your answer is the feedback. So those are the part of communication process. Are you getting my point? Did you get it, Rizalyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
sinabi ko na merong iba't ibang noise ng psychological, physiological, physical, and semantic noise. Ang isa sa pinaka-problema natin kaya nagkakaroon ng miscommunication or misinterpreted message ay yung semantic noise. Halimbawa, iba yung pagkasabi ko sa'yo, iba yung construction ko, iba yung pagkakaintindi mo. Halimbawa, ang word na baga. Ang baga, dalawa ang meaning, right? Tagalog ko na lang. Dalawa ang meaning. Pwede yung baga natin, internal part ng katawan natin, or baga na yung lumiliyab na charcoal, na uling, di ba? So, yun yung semantic noise. Isa yun sa mga dahilan kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng miscommunication or poor communication. Next is psychological noise. Halimbawa na lang dito yung mga problema natin. May mga kunwari, meron akong iniisip na problema. Magkakaroon yun ng effect sa ating communication. Maaring hindi ko masabi ng maayos kasi may problema ako. Next, physical noise. Ito yung mga tunog ng electric fan, tahol ng mga aso. That is physical noise. Next is physiological noise. Ito yung mga nararamdaman din natin. Halimbawa, ako masakit yung ulo ko. I have headache, medication, fatigue. So that is under physiological noise. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng miscommunication. Dahil nga sabi ko, to communicate, dapat ma-achieve natin yung gusto nating iparating at gusto nating ma-receive. Now, there are functions of communication na maidi-discuss natin ngayon. Now here, these are, halimbawa ito, yung mga tahol ng aso ng mga kapitbahay namin. So, that is physical noise. Naririnig mo ba? Umiiyak yung baby ko. Okay,
Yes,
that's an
ma'am.
example of physical noise. Do you want to meet him? Baby? Ayan. He is the reason why I work from home. Kasi I have a baby. Ay, baby! Halika. Gusto nito pagising niya ako ang makikita kasi niya eh. Hi ka, hi! Hi, ate
baby
kuya.
sila.
Hi, ate kuya.
Hi. May baby din dito, ma'am.
Hi, ading mo? Yan, may group
Pamangkin
of
mo.
children. Hi! Hi, kuya. Ayan, nagla-laptop na siya. Sama ka na kay tita. Okay, functions of communication. It is to avoid miscommunication and conflicts. So these are the following. To avoid those, yung sinabi ko, mga noises, yung mga conflicts, at para ma-achieve natin yung successful communication. Kasi in successful communication, it involves transfer and understanding of meaning of a given message from a sender to the receiver. Now, una, regulation and control. The word itself, it regulates and control, di ba? Because communication may act to control the behavior of a person in order to meet his or her needs. And an attempt to regulate the actions to other to help meet such needs. Example, military officer commanding cadets to form a line. That is an example. Alin doon yung nagkukontrol? Again, ulitin ko yung sentence ha. A military officer commanding cadets to form a line. Who controls the specific person?
Military, ma'am.
Yun, very good. Military officer. So, nagkukontrol siya. Kinukontrol niya yung mga cadets. Inuutusan niya. So, doon magfo-fall yung regulation and control. In communication also, it may control events. Pwedeng events, regulate encounters among people. It could be to approve or disapprove behavior. So, meron tayong 3 areas para makontrol yung communication. Pwedeng, unang area ay organization, second, companies, and third one is work groups. Halimbawa, organization. Sa organization muna tayo. The employer requires employees to follow guidelines. So, kinokontrol niya yung mga employees. Diba? So, that is an example. In companies, yung employer, he or she requires employees' compliance of job descriptions. So, it is under regulation and control also. And lastly, work groups. Example, leader. The leader encourages, teases, or harasses members. So, those are the example and areas under regulation and control. Do you want to give an example, Rizalyn? May naiisip ka ba na na nagfo-fall dito sa regulation and control?
Wala po, ma'am.
Naiiyak ka lang ata eh. O, halimbawa,
Hindi.
meron pa akong example. Si mama mo, inutusan ka. O, 'di ba? Under yun ng regulation and control. Kasi he or she commands you to do something, to do a certain job. So that is under regulation and control. Second function is social interaction. So, ikalawa. Nakikita mo ba yung ating ang ating
Yes, ma'am.
na PowerPoint? Okay, social interaction. Communication may function in shared attention with others where there is the social aspect of interaction. It also functions to create and maintain interpersonal communication. Examples, extending or saying birthday greetings to a friend. Kung na birthday mo, happy birthday! That is an example of social interaction na nagdi-develop ng interpersonal communication natin. Ano pa? Extending wishes to the newlywed couple. May bagong kasal. Binati mo sila. Best wishes. Congratulations. So, that is also an example of social interaction. Actually, kahit itong ginagawa natin, social interaction to kukumustahan, nagdi-discuss or having a discussion. Social interaction din to. Next, motivation. Ito, madalas ko din ginagawa ito. Communication, because communication can be also a vehicle to motivate in some organizations when there is clarification on what is to be done. Ano yung dapat mong gawin? How well a person is doing. Kaya nga, di ba, pag may activities tayo, merong akong private comment na, I'm very good, but you have to do something like this. So that is a motivation for you. What can be done to improve performance? In order to improve your performance, I have to motivate you, like having a comment, chatting you, di ba? Nag-chat ako na dapat gawin nyo yung ganito para makakuha kayong mataas na grades, makompute ko. So that is motivation. Di ba? Motivation, magkaroon ng mataas na grade. Ano pa? Meron tayong intrinsic motivation eh. Halimbawa, ikaw, ano bang gusto mo paglaki? After 10 years?
Nurse na, ma'am.
Yun, gusto mong maging nurse, di ba? So, anong gagawin mo? Kailangan mong mag-aral ng mabuti. So, that is motivation. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Yung intrinsic, sarili mo mismo. Extrinsic, ito yung nagmo-motivate sa'yo, mga ibang tao sa paligid mo, the environment. Halimbawa, yung magulang mo. Kasi nakikita mo na nagsisikap sila, mahirap ang buhay. Di ba? Kailangan mong magpursige. Gusto mo kasi gusto ng magulang mo. Gusto mo kasi gusto ng pamilya mo. That is extrinsic motivation. Next is information. Communication is done by providing information. Ito, example din ito, hindi lang social interaction, hindi lang motivation, but also information. It is done by providing information for individuals to make decisions, identify and evaluate choices. For example, an organization needs information to function and operate a business, make decisions, transmit data, identify and evaluate choices. Information is also vital to ensure that individuals are informed of rules and procedures to eliminate uncertainties in the workplace. So there are 3 types of information. Alin kaya yung mag-a-under sa atin? Una kasi, downward moving information. The word itself, downward. Diba? Merong upward moving communication and horizontal moving communication. I-discuss natin yon. Una, downward moving information. It is the information from superior to subordinates. Diba? Mula sa taas, pababa. Example, directives and updates. Halimbawa na lang sa school, merong activity. Hindi lang sa akin magmumula yon, mula sa taas, mula sa head or sa president mismo ng school, pababa, papunta sa mga students. So that is downward moving information. Next, upward moving communication. Information from subordinates to superiors. Ikaw, may mga activity ka na ipapasa sa akin. Ako, gagawin ko, ikukumpute ko, isesend ko sa admin, sa office. So that is upward moving communication. Feedback, example. 'Di ba? Kinakausap kita, then sumasagot ka, that is a feedback. Reports mula sa company, say for example, yung report aakyat yan, pataas ng pataas. No, that is upward moving communication. And third one is horizontal moving communication. It is the information from worker to worker, student to student, teacher to teacher, manager to manager, peer to peer. So that is horizontal communication. Parang reports and data lang, 'di ba? Palitan lang ng with the same position. Hindi tataas, hindi bababa, with the same level. Last function of communication is emotional expression. It provides a channel for a person to release, to talk, to express his or her feelings, thereby fulfilling his or her social needs. Ayan na. Dari, may yung boyfriend mo, di ba? Umiiyak. Kailangan, that is under emotional expression para ma-release, para ma-express niya yung sarili niya. And meron ka rin namang dapat gawin. Siyempre, dapat i-cheer mo din siya. That is emotional expression. Do you have any question about these functions of communication?
Wala po, ma'am.
Okay, ganito na lang. I will give examples and you're going to identify whether it is regulation and control, social interaction, motivation, information, or emotional expression. Gusto mo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Uy, pumasok ka dito.
Okay, this is one. You are example, you have a relative na namatayan and you are extending your condolences to him or to her. Asan mag-a-under yon?
Emotional expression, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Emotional. Next. Okay. May relative ka from abroad. Say for example, nagkumustahan kayo. Aling functions of communication yon?
Social interaction, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Ito, I command you to do the activity experience. Asan mag-under yon?
Regulation and control.
Very good. If we have a discussion tulad nito, anong klaseng function yon?
Information, ma'am.
Very good. And lastly, you did a job and praise kita. Oy, very good, Rizalyn. You did a great job. Ano yon?
Motivation.
Okay, very good. So, madali lang, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, purposes of communication. Siyempre, we are communication, hindi dahil, di ba, hindi naman nonsense ito. We have a purpose. We have purposes why we are communicating. Kahit ako, bakit kita tinuturuan? I have a purpose. I want you to learn. Di ba? I want to impart the knowledge I've learned also. Diba? We have purposes. Kahit ikaw, pag pumunta ka ng tindahan, nakipag-usap ka ng purpose mo para bumili. We have purposes why we are communicating. Ito nga, meron tayong 4. First, to inquire. Next, to inform. Next, to persuade. And lastly, to develop goodwill. Because we all know that communication is important. Now, from your own understanding, to inquire. Bakit kaya to inquire? One of the purposes of communication. To inquire. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng yes?
Yung nga pong yung inquire po parang yung gusto niya pong ipaalam, parang ganun.
Okay, very good. To obtain information. Exactly, yun yung sinabi mo. To obtain information in various ways. It is achieved by asking questions. Diba? Pag may hindi ka alam, tinanong mo ko because you want to inquire to obtain an information. This is done through surveys. Diba? Pwede tayong gumawa ng survey, interviews, questions, interrogations. That is to inquire. Next is to inform. Yun, the word itself, to inform. It entails dissemination of information. Ikaw, to inquire kasi gusto mong matuto. Ako, to inform. Nagdi-disseminate ako ng information using different channels. Pwedeng verbal, non-verbal, written, diba? Some of these channels could be through written forms like emails and letters, and oral forms through lectures, discussions, seminars, and forums. So that is to inform. Next is persuade. What is persuade?
Hindi ko po alam, ma'am.
Pag sinabi natin to persuade, ito yung influence. Diba? Gusto natin maka-influensya or to motivate. Yun. This means to influence people and bring them to your way of thinking. Kasi gusto mo silang mahikayat. Diba? Yun yung Tagalog persuade, hikayat. Gusto mo silang mahila, ganon, para maniwala sila sa pinaniniwalaan mo. In order to convince the audience, the speaker needs to present his side. Alangan namang sabi mo, ito yung tama, kunwari sa exam, ito yung tamang sagot, sabi mo. Then, yung isa naman, paano mo nasabing yan yung sagot, di ba? Dapat, ipoprove mo naman yung proofs mo. Ipipresent mo yung mga supporting details mo. Ito yung sagot kasi nabasa ko, according to Martinez in 2002, this is a two-way process of communication, di ba? That is to persuade. Next, to develop goodwill. It involves creating, forming, maintaining cordial and harmonious relationship. Halimbawa sa church, di ba? Tinuturuan tayo doon ng mga goodwill, proper good conduct, ganon, proper behavior. So that is to develop goodwill. It involves practicing camaraderie with people you are connected with. Nakikipag-socialize ka rin. So those are purposes of communication. Now, if you're yung mga purposes nga, merong purpose yung nagsasalita. Sabi ko nga ako may purpose ako. Yung purpose ko, it could be my own purpose, your purpose, audience purpose, kung sinong nakikinig sa'yo, sinong nagbabasa ng piece mo. Audience purpose yon. And purpose of organization. Anong purpose? Yes?
Nawalan po kayo ng sounds, ma'am.
Ngayon, wala pa rin?
Meron na po, ma'am. Kanina lang po naputol po.
Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, ulitin ko. The speaker's purpose. Ang purpose ng nagsasalita, tatlo yon. Una, yung own purpose niya. Halimbawa ako, my own purpose. Bakit kita tinuturuan? Audience purpose. Your purpose as a listener. Purpose ko din yon. Gusto ko na ma-attain ko yung purpose mo rin. Diba? And third one is purpose of organization. Ano ba yung mission and vision ng organization where I belong? Halimbawa, I am teaching sa PAS College, di ba? PAS College as a school. So, meron silang mission and vision. I have to attain that. That is also my purpose. Okay, discuss natin yung my purpose. Your purpose, di ba? Ikaw at ako. This purpose is the purpose of the speaker presenting his or her speech. Halimbawa, to engage audience in your service, to motivate audience to take a specific action, to inform or persuade the audience. Ikaw, to obtain information from the audience, to ask audience permission, and to convey insights to the audience. Nakukuha mo ba? Are you getting what we are discussing right now? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next.
Napindot ko pala yung
Ha?
Napindot ko pala yung mute, ma'am. Kada niyo po ko narinig.
Okay. Next, audience purpose. Ikaw, audience kita. Yung mga students na nakikinig ngayon, kasi isisend ko ito. Isisend ko ito sa Google Classroom natin. Kasi, syempre, I understand na busy din sila. Syempre, nasa bahay, hindi mo namang masabi na dapat nakatutok lang sila sa cellphone, sa mga modules nila. Syempre, mayroon din silang iba't ibang mga ginagawa, di ba? So, naiintindihan natin yun, kaya nga, hindi natin hinihigpitan na dapat umattend sila. Pero mas maganda na, halimbawa ikaw, mas maganda naka-attend ka, at least, ngayon pa lang, naintindihan mo, tsaka andun yung feedback, di ba? Kapag may tanong ka, masasagot agad, di ba? O yun, yung audience purpose, anong purpose mo? Kaya ka nakikinig. Ikaw ba? Kunwari ikaw, anong purpose mo?
Para po matuto.
Okay, very good. Para matuto, to receive information or insights from me, from the speaker. To ask follow-up questions. O yun nga, kaya nga tinatanong kita minsan kung may tanong ka. To hold certain views about the obtained information. Next, the purpose of the speaker is the purpose of organization. Halimbawa nito, kasi kadalasan dito, kung ano yung purpose ko, yun din yung purpose ng organization. Or ganito, kung ano yung purpose ng organization, yun ang purpose ko. Gusto ng organization na matuto ang mga estudyante for the future. Yun din yung purpose ko, di ba? So pareho lang din yun. Kadalasan, pareho lang din. Pero syempre, minsan, mas naradagdagan yung purpose ng speaker. May tanong ka pa dyan about the purposes of communication and the purpose of speaker?
Wala na po, ma'am.
Okay, wala na. Now, there are 6 types. Anong oras na ba? Okay, maaga pa. Meron lang tayong 35 minutes na nag-discuss. So, there are 6 types of oral communication activities. One-on-one is speaking. It could be student to student or student to teacher. A small group or team-based oral work. Full class discussion, ito yung teacher or student-led. May nangunguna, may nagdi-discuss. Next, in-class debates and deliberations. Next is speeches and presentations. And lastly, oral examination. Didiscuss natin to. Una, one-on-one is speaking, or is student to student, or teacher to student. It can range from moments punctuating a lecture, where students are asked to discuss or explain some questions or problem with the person next to them, to formal student conferences with their instructor. Halimbawa ako, may mga reporter akong tinoka sa inyo na gagawin. Halimbawa ikaw, gusto ko ikaw mag-lead sa next meeting. Ikaw magdi-discuss ng ganito. So that is one-on-one speaking. Dalawa lang tayo, ako, ikaw, o di kaya ikaw, kakausapin mo si ganyan. So that is one-on-one speaking. Next is small group or team-based oral work. A smaller scale setting for discussion, deliberation, and problem solving. Appropriate for both large lectures and smaller classes, and allows levels of participation not possible in larger groups. Pang maliliit na group lang to. Okay? Parang small group lang na meron na nagli-lead ng discussion and deliberation. Next, full class discussion. Ito na yon. Teacher or student-led. Full class discussion, typically less agonistic to, argument-based, and competitive than debate and deliberation, but still dialogic in character. Mayroon din silang dialogue na this is not just one way of communication. Pwedeng merong feedback. Here, oftentimes has the quality of creating an atmosphere of collective out loud thinking about some questions, idea, problem, text, event, or artifact like deliberation and debate. These are a good way of encouraging active students. Itong full class discussion. Pero matatawag tong full class discussion sana kung marami tayo. Diba? Next, in-class debates and deliberation. Here, this is a structured consideration of some issue from two or more points of view. Debates typically involve participation who argue one side throughout, while deliberation allows for movement by individuals within the process. So in debate, nakapanood ka na ba ng formal debates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sino-sino yung mga nandoon?
Meron po yung mga student po.
Okay. Actually, meron yung tatlo. Yung una, yung dalawa, yung magkaibang point of view. Tsaka meron silang moderator. Yung moderator na yon, yun yung nagdi-deliberate. Yun yung nagbabalance. So dito, class debates and deliberation, di ba sabi nga, merong nagdi-deliberate. Diba? Ng mga movement tsaka ng kung sino ang panalo, kung sino ang diba? So that is in-class debates and deliberations. Next, speeches and presentations. Classically, the stand-up podium speech delivered by an individual from an outline or script. So, from the word itself, speech nga, presentation, present mo lang. So, it is just a one way of communication. It is a strong element of monologue, but dialogue can be built in with questions and answer or discussion with the audience afterward, pagkatapos na. Diba, lalo na sa mga contest, may mga speech, lalo na sa mga impromptu speech, example. So, you are going to present your speech. Then afterward, after the presentation or after your speech, merong mga discussion or question and answer. Tatanungin ka tungkol sa speech mo. Next is oral examination. Dito, hindi natin ginagawa tong oral examination. It can take place in the instructor's office or in small groups. Ito nangyari na to sa amin, oral communication. Magre-review ka, sasabihin yung coverage. Then, nagbibigay sila specific date, tatawagin pangalan mo, then, andun, papasok ka sa office or yung ilan lang kayo, yung teacher, ikaw, tsaka kung merong mga judges din, then magtatanong sa'yo ng mga questions. And you have to defend orally. Nari, may itatanong ka, you have to defend orally. Or it could also be oral quiz, ganon, or examination. Difficult with very large groups. Sa atin, madali lang to. Pwedeng gawin to kasi iilan lang kayo, 9 or 10 students kasi may kapapasok kasi ng dalawa. Hindi pa nakapasok sa Google Classroom pero kaalam ko lang ngayon na may pumasok. Kahapon yung isa, tapos ngayon, verify, part siya ng klase natin. Ganon. So, that is oral examination. So, there are various kinds of oral text: advertisement, announcement, commercials, conversations, discussion, instructions, interview, invitation, proposal, and oral reports. But before that, may tanong ka ba sa 6 types of oral communication activities?
Wala po, ma'am.
Wala. Excuse me. Kailangan ko tubig mamaya. Advertisement. Example nito, may mga alam ka bang advertisement? Kindly give example.
Ano po yung advertisement, ma'am?
Ito yung gusto mong maka-influence or gusto mo na bumili o mag-avail sila ng product or service mo. Yan yung dito ginagamit yung advertisement. Halimbawa nito, kahit commercial is kind of advertisement eh. Example, advertisement of product. Diba? Sa mga patalastas. Gustong pumuti ang damit, mag-pride ka, mga ganon, di ba? That is advertisement of product. O, mga pagkain, product din yon. O, paano ka ng bumili? Pwede kang maglagay ng mga billboards, di ba? Mamigay ka ng mga flyers. O, kunwari sa mga tutorial centers, magbibigay ka ng flyers para mabasa ng mga clients at mag-avail sila ng service. That is advertisement of service. Next, advertisement of job openings. Kapag may mga hirings, di ba? Makikita natin sa mga posts sa Facebook, sa Google, di ba? Those are advertisement. Yan yung isa sa various kinds of oral text. Next, announcement. Tayo, saan natin pinupost yung announcement natin?
Sa Google Classroom po.
Sa stream, di ba? Under Google Classroom. Andun yung mga announcement natin. Example ng mga announcement na iba, yung announcement sa airport, di ba? Ay, yung kung lilipad na, anong oras, di ba? Announcement on e-bus. May mga announcement, dito, Cubao. Ay, naano sila, saan papunta? Dito na tayo sa Quiapo. Diba? Next, commercial. TV commercials, radio commercials. Yan, pwede rin to sa mga products and services. Next, conversation. Ito, madali na lang to. Kahit yung mga casual conversation natin, ginagawa natin ito. These are conversation between friends, lovers, family members. Formal conversation between boss and employer, teacher and students, doctors and patients. You and your friends. Those are conversations. Kahit nga mag-chat tayo or sending letters, that is also conversation kasi exchanging of ideas and information. Parang discussion. Ito, number 5, discussion. Yan, panel discussion, group discussion, one-on-one discussion. Ginagawa natin, discussion to. Next, instructions. Based on your understanding, instructions. Madali na lang to.
Yung ma'am, yung gano'n lang din po sa direction, ma'am. Yung gagawin po.
Okay, very good. Halimbawa nga ng direction, mga geographical directions, test instruction, di ba? Pag may test tayo, answer in caps lock. Dapat sagot mo caps lock. Lalo na sa Google Classroom, yung Google Form natin, kailangan kung ano yung tamang sagot, yun yung i-enter mo. Like kapag encounter nga ako na makukuha siya ng sagot niya dun mismo sa ginawa natin sa AEPP ata yun. Yung subject na yun. Dapat kukuha doon ng sagot kukuha sa paragraph ng sagot. Kukunin doon yung yung specific na sentence. Wrong spelling, nakalimutan niya, letter D lang, di ba? Kung nakalimutan yung letter D, syempre marurong na yon. Kailangan pa rin doon ng hindi kasi siya sumunod sa instructions, for example. Ganon. So, that is example of instruction. Kailangan sumunod. Next, interview. Ito, interview. Madalas dito yung mga job application. Meron at merong interview. Ano yung mga experience mo? Tatanungin ka. Diba? Interview of a crime suspect. Yung mga police, mga investigador. Diba? Interview yon. Next, invitation. Ano example nito? What are some examples of invitation?
Yung ma'am, yung sa birthday invitation po.
Okay, very good. Birthday invitation, mga party invitation. Invitation for questioning. Interrogation, ganon. May invitation pa. Invitation to speak in front of the audience. Kunwari mag-speech ka, in-invite ka ng barangay. Yun, that is invitation. Next, proposal. Ito yung mga project proposal, business proposal. May gusto kang gawin, kailangan mo munang i-propose. Lastly, oral reports. Ito yon yung mga academic reports. Ako, kaya nga pinaparush ko yung mga activities na di pa tapos kasi I have to report this naman. Para rin hindi na kayo rin mahirapan pang finals. At least ready na yung for midterm. Investigative reports, news reports, TV and radio reports. So those are the various kinds of oral text. Okay, to sum it up, may question ka ba doon, Wizaline?
Wala na po.
Okay, functions of communication. There are 5. Kindly name some based on what you've remembered, Rizalyn. Functions of communication.
Ay, tama. Titingnan na lang po sa
Yung mga naalala mo na lang. Yun yung mga tinanong ko sa yung mga application natin. Yung mga situation, tinanong ko yun sa'yo kanina.
Yung po yun, ma'am, yung
functions. Halimbawa, regulation and control. Nabanggit ko na yung isa. Ano pa yung 4?
Yung motivation, ma'am.
Motivation.
Yung social, yung kadulo niya, ma'am. Ano na yun?
Social interaction. Very good.
Yung sa
emotional expression. And itong ginagawa natin.
Social
Information. Diba? So those are functions of communication. Okay, purposes of communication. Ano yung mga purposes ng communication? Ano naalala mo? To inquire, to inform, what else? To persuade and to develop goodwill. Those are 4 purposes of communication. Speaker's purpose is your purpose, audience purpose, and organization's purpose. We also discussed the 6 types of oral communication activities. What are the 6 types of oral communication activities? One-on-one speaking is
Tapos yung sa debate. Meron na tayo.
Sa debate, mag-under yon sa in-class debates and deliberation. Dalawa na. Small group. Diba? Full class discussion. Speech and presentation, and oral examination. At ito naman, various kinds of oral text. Madali na to. Ano tong mga to?
Yung communication.
Ha?
Mata yung communication.
Yun yung sabi ko, mga patalastas, ganon. Advertisement, di ba? Announcement, marami to. Commercials. Invitation, proposal, di ba? What else? Oral reports, interview, instructions, conversation, commercial, di ba? Announcement. Those are various kinds of oral text. Okay. And before we end our discussion, mag 11:30 na, I'll be posting an activity on Wednesday, activity experience. So, gawin nyo na kaagad based sa napag-aralan natin. Kasi, I observed na yun yung negative or disadvantage ng walang formal meeting kapag hindi nakaka-attend. Kasi kapag hindi nyo pinag-aralan yung lessons or hindi kayo nag-join, baka hindi nyo na kasi i-view or hindi nyo na basahin yung module natin, kadalasan, nagbe-base na lang tayo sa mga nasa-search natin kasi sa Google eh. Hindi ko naman kayo masisi kasi nga, syempre rush na, kailangan magmadali. So, kaya nga, I am encouraging you to visit our Google Classroom palagi and also, mag-attend rin kayo ng mga klase kasi once a week lang ito yung mga ganito nating Zoom. Kasi once na hindi kayo nakapag-attend, more on magbabrowse na lang tayo, nagmamadali na tayo, hindi na natin binabasa yung mga module. Gagawin, magsasearch na lang tayo, then copy-paste without understanding yung mga sinesearch natin. Minsan masyado ng obvious, di man lang ini-edit. So, I am encouraging you na gawin nyo yung part nyo rin, di ba? Kung mag-iisipin nyo anong goal nyo, bakit nyo ginagawa to? Para lang ba makapag-comply? Para lang ba makapasa? Siyempre, gusto nyo lang ba na makapasa lang? Siyempre, dapat gustuhin din natin na hindi lang makapasa. Mataas yung makuha natin. We deserve to have a good grades. Kaya para maging deserving naman tayo, dapat mag-aral tayo mabuti. Kasi ganito yon. May mga parts tayo ng discussion natin or parts ng module natin every week, yung weekly activity natin. There are three main parts, I should say. Explore, yun yung paunang activity kasi natin. Pwede tayong mag-browse nun, pwede tayong mag-search, depende sa pinapagawa, or opinion lang natin. Diba? Madadali lang yon, madali lang. Kahit simple research lang. Next is yung discussion natin, itong ginagawa natin, tsaka yung learning module. Iisa lang yung laman nito. Pero ito nga, ini-explain ko na mismo sa inyo. Ito yung kagandahan kapag pinapanood nyo yung mga ina-upload nating video o nagjo-join kayo dito. Kung hindi man kayo makapag-join, mapanood nyo man lang ito, yung link na sinend natin sa Google Classroom. At yung pangatlo, experience. Itong experience, tandaan nyo, ito yung kumbaga quiz natin. Quiz natin sa napag-aralan natin sa discussion. Ha? Kaya yung sagot nyo dito sa experience, dapat connected sa topic natin. Di ba? Kapag may ipapasagot sa'yo, what are the blah blah blah? Yung sagot mo, browse mo, hindi sa pinag-aralan. So, hindi natin mamimit yung objective natin. Ha? Kaya, gawin natin yung part din natin. Okay? These are the references. And do you have any question, Rizalyn, about what we have discussed today? Or yung kahit yung mga previous na napag-aralan natin?
Wala po, ma'am.
Wala. About sa mga activities?
Wala na din.
Wala na din. Okay, thank you for listening. sana mag-at all mo yung ating mga yung activity natin on Wednesday. So, that's all for now. Goodbye and have a great day. Goodbye, Rizalyn. Okay, saan na tayo? Goodbye.